And Wednesday evening is Suburban Propane's Ask the Weather Team night, and tonight's question comes from Susan in Bennington, Vermont. And Susan wants to know what causes the snow shadowing effect in some snowstorms that we typically see in the valleys. Well, Susan, it all has to do with wind direction and the local terrain. When you have large storms passing to our south, they generally set up a pretty strong easterly flow of air. And that easterly flow will then interact with the higher terrain. We know we have mountains in Vermont, we've got mountains in western Massachusetts, so as the flow hits the mountains, it's initially forced to rise, which causes snow or rain, depending on temperature, to enhance. But then when that air comes up and over the mountains and then sinks or descends into the valleys, you get a compressional effect, which tends to warm and dry the air, and that's essentially what causes the shadowing effect that we see in some snowstorms, not all. Now, I want to show you this graphic. This is the snow accumulation verification from this last storm. We did not have any shadowing with that storm because the initial phase came in with a very strong southeast wind, not an easterly wind. Now, that warmed the atmosphere in the Mid-Hudson Valley Catskills, which is why the totals were lower, generally 2 to 5 inches Mid-Hudson Valley, southern Berkshire County on south, and 5 to 8 across much of the rest of the Catskills. But notice the big bullseye. You know who you are, 10 to 14 inches from south central Saratoga County, Fulton, Montgomery counties on north. And this was partially as a result of that southeast wind upsloping or being lifted as it interacted with the higher terrain up around Saratoga and Porter Corners, and that caused the enhanced pocket of snow that we saw this particular event. So not only do we get shadowing, but we can get enhancement to rain or snow depending on temperature, depending on the wind direction, with the interaction across our very vast and interesting local terrain. Good question. So if you'd like to ask the weather team a question, best way to do it is head to the website, cbs6albany.com, go to the weather area and click on Ask the Weather Team. You can submit your questions there.
We just got a late submission from
Yes.
Dory in Niskuna.
Yes.
She wants to know, when's it going to be nice out?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's why I asked it, of
I
course.
have no answer for that.
Maybe
All
next
right.
week you'll have an answer.
That would be science.
That would be science, right?
All right.
That'd be magic.
Yeah.
It would be. Thank you very much, Steve.